I actually made a much more exciting video than this one. The difference is I had actual footage of the end game. The game is called Antiqua. This is the first one, although the second I also will talk about it in a moment. It looks like your perfectly average JRPG. The difference is there aren't really quests in here or like story because this is despite its look is a dungeon crawling experience. This is your hub. There are some options like the shop, the magic shop. You actually have to visit the resurrection place here. You don't have to do that in second. That's automatic there. And after you beat the basic story, because the story does not end in Dungeon Antiqua 1 with beating the archdemon. You get unlocked at the question mark an item storage, because in Dungeon Antiqua 1 you have limited storage. You can have like 50 individual item on you. I'm not sure if in your backpack or what's on your character also counts, but it's given the not too wide pool of items in the game. It's perfectly serviceable even with duplicates and that kind of things. The maps are not randomized, no matter what the Skynet alleges. The walls of the labyrinths will always be in the same place, the doors, everything, even the chests. The chests spawn randomly at the specific chest spawning locations. That is random. The content of them is sort of random. There are some levels of the dungeon, 6 level until the archdemon. It's actually 5 level plus the boss level, and after that the so to say post game can be unlocked. You can't really get lost, but you have a functioning minimap. That's absolutely great. And you have a couple of jobs, also known classes, to choose from. I don't know why are here. You have a 5-member team, but only 8 classes. And in the Dungeon Antiqua 2, you have 4-member party, but with 10 classes. That just confuses me, but whatever, that's just a design decision. It works out in the end, it's fine. Thief is not mandatory at all in either. It is especially needless in Dungeon Antiqua 2. You can solo Dungeon Antiqua 1 with 1 character, although you have to be aware that there are certain conditions that are instant KO, like paralysis and that kind of things, and poison is also frequent. You don't really have to you don't worry about it for the first go. I mean, there are 2 difficulties, but I'm not talking about that. The supposed structure is that you go down with a party, preferably on normal difficulty, because you get a twist during the boss fight, namely that... we will get to that. So you get down to the boss level, and you are only allowed with one character to fight a boss, and this is where the twist comes in. Normal, after 2 turns passing, in the third turn the rest of the party arrives because of the power of friendship and everything. It's very heartfelt. It's, it's way more than you were expecting from a simple dungeon crawling experience. There are some vendors in the dungeon who sell you random items or just don't. I think they don't replenish the item if you buy stuff from them, at least until you quit and reload the game, or continue. It's the same thing practically. There is a continuous autosave system, so you can't really lose progress, and you can get very good items very early. The best item you should hunt for is Panacea, which is a fully heals one of your character, also removes all conditions, but there are also a couple of items that are just awesome. So it's worth looking into the extra NPCs if you are looking for a specific item. And in Dungeon Antiqua 1, gender and alignment is important. Evil is kind of the worst option, and you only get the ninja class out of it, which is not that good. You can, by the way, change the good alignment party members to evil alignment, and the other way around. It's a bit more complicated to coming from evil to good. Whatever. You get access to the improved classes all at once. You can be Lord, which is pretty much the Paladin, but I appreciated they call it, a secular term. And the Samurai. Lord is your healing and tanking class, and the Samurai is the DPS class, mostly. And the Samurai can be neutral, Lord can only be good. Samurai also can be good. Now, there is the gender difference. There is one weapon that works for the males, and it's a warrior weapon, and there is an item that is hell of a good for casters. And you probably want, just because of that, a female character, or if you are playing solo, why not? You are better off with a female overall character. The differences between the stats are not that big, but it exists, and this is especially important during the early game, so the male is kinda better, but also the female ones get overall more stat points when you add them together. Now, the problematic part is finding an antidote for paralysis, and that's why neutral alignment can be your life-saving thing, because there is an neutral alignment exclusive item that gives you immunity to paralysis. There is a ring assigned that, but that makes you complicated to get the other immunities. Elemental resistances are not that important in this game. So when you get down and beat the Archdemon, you are supposed to go through the whole game with only one character and fight the ancient set again and collecting them again, and then will be opened, will be visible a new door on the boss level, and that will lead you a couple more levels. I forgot it, don't do the 8th or 9th level, it doesn't really matter. The last level is again a boss level, where you again lose your ancient sets, but you can't get it back at that time. There is a reason why is the super boss there, but you can only know about the reason after you beat the super boss and you go back one level, because there was a place, if you are paying attention, which is entirely dark, and there is an arrow coming from it, meaning there is a door to it, but you can come from the other side only. But as you can't get into the dark place, you can't know what's in there. That darkness will be removed after beating the super boss, and you get one more notice board, and that will tell you what just happened, what's the lore purpose for the final battle. The final battle, the super boss. Now, the Dungeon Antiqua 2 looks exactly the same and operates for most part with the exact same monster that is very much let down, but get past the half an hour, 1 hour mark, and you will get to see the differences. You get access to classes, you get access to a full bunch of skills you unlock, and you can use them from all the classes and spells, and there are now 6 dungeons, not that deep, known as like 8 level deep, except the challenge tower, the very first location, which has like 20, but they are small, so don't worry about that. And also most of the locations don't have maps, so good luck with that. That's only can be a problem during the very last dungeon, the Demon Realm. But I wrote a guide on GOG, so you can check it out if you need that information. The other thing with Dungeon Antiqua 2 is spells are mostly useless. They are way better working, but the mana can run out pretty fast. But on the other hand, you get items that cast spells without spending mana, so that's a whole overpowered part. But as there are a bunch of elemental damage and instant death scenarios, you will use that to the mana that got freed in this way to resurrect and heal your party constantly, so that it works out in the end, and it gets very different from Dungeon Antiqua 1. Sometimes you can get lost, but if you don't know what's what, especially with the Blaze Cave, just keep looking for the designated quest objective. You are given quest logs, just keep looking. You just looked over one hidden corner of the dungeon, and there is an extra part of the dungeon. It's not a soft lock. You actually can't lose your way. It's for a second playthrough. It looks like it's more designed for someone who knows what's what in the game, that you don't need the thief. It's entirely useless. The loot sense ability is absolutely unnecessary. The disarming is not needed at all. You will learn how to in what order to unlock the caster classes because of their abilities, and that the whole game will feel a lot smaller. But and it seems it's optimized for that second playthrough. So I guess Dungeon Aquita 1 has more replay value, but Dungeon Aquita 2 gives a more sophisticated, more traditional experience, not just a quick run in and quick run out. We did the dungeon crawling. It's more of a, what the normies call a traditional game experience. The game is turn-based, but you see all the enemies, and most of the time the enemies don't respawn if you kill them all. There is exception, the Blazewave Cave's first floor and the Demon Realm. That's very annoying. The Demon Realm can be very, very annoying. I will probably make a hand-drawn map of it. But that's part of the fun. This is supposed to be somewhat old school stuff. Although I'm thinking about how could I make 100% everything, every monster identified bestiary, because that seems impossible. At least, you should have your first trial as the bishop for that one, but the problem is these games don't have achievements. It would benefit from it. This 100% bestiary is absolutely out of the question without achievement. It's just going out of your way to get all that information, what is not necessary. So I think that's what I wanted to tell you about this one, and I'm sorry, but the game, the engine or something did not allow me to record the actual footage. I will try with Dungeon Aquita 2. We hope the best. There will be a couple of things more to tell you about that game later.